Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Ethereum has pushed a little higher since yesterday, but not any changes. Let's say there hasn't been any changes to the market structure as such. Already yesterday we talked about this potential diagonal pattern to the upside. What is important is that ETH should break. Sorry, ETH crew. Important is that Ethereum should needed to break above 2,658 in order to indicate that something more bullish is unfolding. Now, I wouldn't call that a sustained break yet, but we seem to be consolidating just above that level. And if ETH can flip that support, why not exactly? Why not continue directly from here to the upside? However, I think from a wave count point of view, we should see now a B wave pullback at some point. It might have started. B waves can be shallow though, and maybe the fact that ETH broke above resistance here, 2,658, the level I called out in the last video, as key resistance, which needed to break to reduce the likelihood of a direct bearish scenario, but it hasn't invalidated it. But it's still, it's only 3 waves up still, but yeah, it adds to the idea that we could be in this yellow diagonal pattern to the upside. But the fact that we broke above it and now hold above it, maybe that's an explanation why so far this pullback has been quite shallow. And I showed you in yesterday's video the ETH BTC chart as well. Go and check it out if you're interested, where we saw already a small bounce happening on ETH BTC, which means that Ether could short-term be a little bit stronger than Bitcoin. But overall, the structure still suggests this could be a wave 1 to the upside, wave 2 to the downside, which bottomed on Wednesday. And the third wave to the upside, I would have to label it as an ABC structure. Well, I could always be wrong with that. Maybe it is an impulse. Maybe it is an impulse instead of a diagonal pattern. But the first rally was clearly in 3 waves. And I can call that here at the moment a 3-wave move as well in an ABC structure. Now, from an impulsive point of view, I could say this is wave 1 in 5 waves, but the 5th wave was truncated. So it never made it to a higher high, which is not great. So I'd rather be on the side of caution with a diagonal, all right? So if it's a diagonal, I have lower support levels, and I'm rather warning because diagonals tend to change. They tend to shift. Now, most Elliott wave analysts would call that an impulse. They would find a way to call that a 5-wave move here, which I don't. And then they would call this here probably a 3rd wave in the making, which I have as well, but with ABC structures in the subwave. And then likely their support might be broken if they track it for an impulse. But again, I'm choosing to track it as a diagonal that gives it space all the way down to 2,394. Doesn't mean we have to test that level, but we have to be ready for a test of that level. Any exciting trend lines or anything? Maybe there's a trend line here that could be watched today. Draw it on your own chart because this is different from exchange to exchange, slightly different. But there's a trend line there. Maybe we get a bounce from there, but seems like a move down has started. So we head towards that support area. Already talked about that yesterday. I think it got one final push higher. And now this B wave might be unfolding, which would be an ABC structure. Again, I don't really have a very clear micro count for that, but this could be a wave 1, maybe even, sorry, an A wave. Maybe the B wave was even a triangle, but let's draw it like that, ABC. And we'll see what happens. And then these are not so much predictive, these micro counts. They're just for orientation. 3, 4, 5. So something like that, yeah. So it seems like a 3rd wave down that's happening there. With that makes sense, kind of. Well, we'll see how it reacts to support. That pullback shouldn't be a surprise. I already updated my members on Discord earlier today that a B wave is likely underway. Now, any break below 2,394, well, yeah, it would indicate something more bearish. It would indicate it's just a 3-wave rally, and we get one more low with support at, I think it's 17 here. It's just above, just around 1,800 USD. So for now, this is just a pullback that I see as a corrective pullback. But if it breaks below 2,394, we're likely going for a new low, I would say. Okay. So, but that remains to be seen. For now, we just see a pullback into the support region. Pay attention to the trend line And that's the update about ETH. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.